and bigger and expansive way that we've not been able to do before. And we can do that very easily with all of this technology today. So all of the things that they just mentioned are spot on. Now, we're talking about the good. I think you have to have the bad, you have to have the balance, right? It can't always be good. What do you think is one of the biggest hurdles, and this can go to whoever wants to jump for it. What do you think is one of the biggest hurdles or forms of adversity for people to understand or appreciate and value this newfound world of wearable tech or digital garments or virtual fashion? What
Okay, well, there is the complexity to get in, understanding how you need to get a wallet and everything else, and there is the two camps, like kids don't like NFTs, but we need to educate them. Give them more idea that it's not an evil. For some reason they think that way. It's more like for millennials right now and collectors. So that's a big job for everyone, a brand to educate, to engage more with the companies like ours and the designers, to propose more solutions so the audience will get to it. It's something new, but it's gonna be big for sure. It's already getting big.
Accessibility?
I was gonna say, like, education is like the major thing, but I think we know that just anybody who's in the like NFT space, tech side, we all know that that's been something that we've needed to work on from day one, which is kind of why you started NFT tips, like all of that stuff. But I also think like the tech side, because I think as we like for physical digital, right? I think actually evolving the tech for what we're doing and purpose behind that. So I think that that's something that's really interesting beyond just like an NFC chip and gamifying it, right? Like Pokemon Go or something like that, where it's like really that's what's going to onboard people, but we have to get the tech side aligned to like actually make that happen beyond just like tapping NFC chips and then it linking to an NFT. There's so much that we can do, but actually having the tech to like really back that, I think is going to be, it's a hurdle right now. Because when we first started, it was like physical goods, right? We all, as like being in the fashion space, wanted to have physical goods, but being able to link them. Then we thought about the NFC chips. We did that. That was a hurdle that we got through, right? But now being able to like go beyond just the basic of like tapping and it connecting to something, but actually gamifying it. So I really think the tech side is going to be something that we need to like, a hurdle that we need to overcome, for sure.
I can just add, like, you know, we definitely think about this all the time, especially because our audiences are, you know, as we're collaborating with musicians and artists and other brands that aren't in the Web3 space, we have an audience that is just not educated on this. So we've done some drops where you're buying the sneakers and then when you scan the NFC chip in it, that's when you're claiming the NFT. We've done other drops where you're buying the NFT first and then you're redeeming for the physical good. But we do think it's really important to make it super easy to onboard anybody, and then they see the experience, right? They learn it through having a physical product. They're so used to having a physical product, and so this is the kind of the way to say, now your physical product is packed with so much more value, and here's what you can do with that.
Yeah, I agree with all the points here. I think that the seamless onboarding is really where we need to be. And in a sense where somebody not from Web3 can come in and purchase something and have an NFT attached to it without them having to own a MetaMask, without them having to understand that they need to connect their wallet and do all this stuff. Seamlessly integrating how we collect things in the Web2 sense while having in the background running all the tech that really connects these things is where I think we hit that next level. And the tech is definitely getting there. I mean, every month we see something new that's coming out that brings this new level of connectivity that makes it that much easier for somebody to go in and collect something. And I think it's just a matter of time before that full code is kind of beginning to be unlocked and we really can experience these things without the friction of having to dive deeper into this Web3 wallets and security and other things. Something that makes it very, very simple. It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sony Online Entertainment and PlayStation just signed a really big deal to allow for DLC and digital content to be somewhat interoperable. Nike with Dog Swoosh, you know, they want to be in every closet all across the world. Adidas, they have their iteration. Prada has been doing this with their own blockchain for the past 2.5, 3 years, I want to say, if not maybe a little bit more. LVMH Group is in this space with luxury brands, and even like I did the launch for a $226,000 Hennessy bottle, and people were like, "What? Why would you want that?" But it was a one-of-one, and for people that are enthusiasts or maybe sommeliers or maybe just really into having that one-of-one item that you're just pouring a shot of, like it's important, and you can pull it whenever you want. So I think we're at a point where between the accessibility to knowledge and information and education in all of this stuff is one big part of it, but I think we're also at a point as more educated consumers and creators that we have to do diligence to unlearn the bad habits that we picked up along the way, and that means sustainability. Instead of creating and sourcing products and materials from third-generation textile factories that have been predatory or exploitive, or big box stores and fast fashion, I think we have an opportunity to really redefine the industry at large, and that also goes into expansion of the runway space and fashion shows and Paris Fashion Week and New York Fashion Week and things of that nature. I think we really do have an opportunity to, I don't want to say disrupt, but really to reinvent and reimagine the way that we do those things. So with that said, what would you say is defining success in Web3 fashion? And I think everybody has a different idea of what that looks like, and I'd love to know what it is from all of you. We could start on one end, we can start with you and go that way, maybe?
So definitely it's sales, but it's as well it's amount of people that came to your shows, events. And speaking of Phygital, I wanted to share that what we do, we are providing runway activations where people can go to the physical runway and obtain an NFT right there and play with it with the art. So basically utilizing the person is also a physical experience. So sales and word of mouth. That's one of the most important right now.
Results and promotion. I got you. I will help you become even more successful than just that's already is. Michael, how about you?
I agree with those points. I think that right now it's so early to label success in this space because there's so much more space for growth here. I think that the success at this point just means continuous growth, just means continuous learning and continuing to innovate in the space that moves so quickly. So as long as whatever brands that are operating in this space continue to be a part of that conversation and continue to help innovate and share these ideas and help build that tech that's going to allow for these masses to be onboarded, I think that's really the label of success right now is just being here, being present, and being innovative and continuing to be that wealth of knowledge that is shared between everybody and can be utilized.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like two things: onboarding and evolution. So essentially, what you were saying in the sense of like onboarding new people and forever evolving, growing. That's going to be like where we find success here, because without evolving, I feel like you're not growing within the space. And how do you see success if you're not willing to evolve and solve problems? And then the onboarding is probably the most important part. So the more people that we can bring in will be the sense of success to me.
In our case, I think a lot about empowering people that are outside the space to make deeper connections, right? So we're really doing a lot in terms of fan engagement. And so this is about taking an ecosystem that I've been familiar with for so many years in this coveted space of sneakers or apparel and extending it to people who have really passionate fans. And those fans want to connect to them in new ways, and they want to connect and monetize and be able to get royalties